Most people think silver is boring, something your grandfather talked about, something that sits quietly in the background while everyone argues about Bitcoin, AI stocks, and real estate. But what if I told you that silver is quietly setting up the most explosive move in modern financial history? What if the price you see today has almost nothing to do with its real value? And what if by 2026, silver doesn't just rise, but shocks the world? Some analysts are whispering numbers that sound insane. $100, $150, even $200 per ounce. And here's the scary part. If they're right, it won't be because of hype. It'll be because something underneath the global system finally breaks. Right now, silver is treated like a side character. But behind the scenes, it's being pulled in two opposite directions at the same time. On one side, it's a precious metal, money, a store of value. On the other side, it's an industrial metal essential for modern life. And for the first time in history, both of those forces are colliding together. That collision is what most people aren't paying attention to, and that's exactly why this story matters. Before we go deeper, if you want more content like this, stories that look beneath the surface of money, power, and hidden economic shifts, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. This is the Silver Reset, and what we talk about here is rarely discussed where it actually counts. Now, let's rewind for a moment. Silver has been used as money for thousands of years, longer than paper currencies, longer than banks, longer than governments as we know them today. But over the last century, silver was slowly pushed out of the monetary system. Not because it failed, but because it was inconvenient. You can't print silver. You can't create it out of nothing. And that makes it dangerous to a system that survives on endless expansion and debt. So silver was rebranded. It stopped being money in the public mind and became just another commodity, something industrial, something replaceable. Except it isn't. Silver is one of the most conductive metals on Earth. It's essential for electronics, solar panels, medical equipment, electric vehicles, military hardware, and advanced technologies most people never see. Every smartphone, every electric grid upgrade, every green energy plan quietly depends on silver. And unlike gold, most silver used in industry is not recycled. It's gone, forever. Here's where things start to get uncomfortable. Global silver demand is rising fast, especially from industrial use. Solar energy alone is consuming massive amounts of silver every single year. Governments are pushing green transitions aggressively, especially in the United States. Electric vehicles need more silver than gas-powered cars. Data centers need silver. AI infrastructure needs silver. The future everyone talks about cannot exist without it. But while demand is rising, supply is doing the opposite. Most silver is not mined on its own. It's a byproduct of mining other metals like copper, zinc, and lead. That means silver production doesn't respond quickly to higher prices. Even if silver doubles tomorrow, new supply doesn't magically appear. Mines take years to develop, and many existing mines are already struggling with lower ore quality, higher costs, and stricter regulations. This is where the imbalance starts to form. For several years now, the silver market has been running a physical deficit. More silver is being used than is being produced, and the gap is being filled by above-ground inventories, stored silver, stockpiles, vaults. The problem is, those stockpiles are not infinite. Once they're gone, there's nothing left to smooth the system. At the same time, there's another layer most people never see, the paper silver market, futures contracts, derivatives, promises of silver that may never be delivered. For every ounce of physical silver, there are dozens, sometimes hundreds of paper claims attached to it. This works fine as long as most people never ask for the real thing. But if confidence breaks, even slightly, the entire structure becomes unstable. Now add another factor, trust. Over the past few years, trust in institutions has been eroding. Banks fail, inflation spikes, government debt explodes. The US dollar remains dominant, but cracks are visible. When uncertainty rises, people historically move toward hard assets. Gold gets the headlines, but silver has always been the smaller market. And smaller markets move faster when pressure builds. This is why some analysts believe silver could dramatically outperform gold in the next cycle. Not because silver is better, but because it's more fragile, more sensitive. A rush into physical silver doesn't need trillions of dollars, it needs a spark. And that spark could come from anywhere. A supply disruption, a mining crisis, a major industrial shortage, a loss of confidence in paper contracts, or a broader financial event that forces people to question what S real and what ES just numbers on a screen. So when you hear predictions like $200 silver by 2026, it sounds extreme. And maybe it is, but extreme outcomes don't come from normal conditions. They come from systems that were stretched for too long. And silver has been stretched quietly year after year without public attention. Here's the part nobody likes to talk about. If silver really does explode in price, it won't feel like a victory. It will feel like a symptom, a signal that something deeper has gone wrong. Because silver doesn't rise in isolation. It rises when confidence falls, when systems strain, when the old assumptions stop working. That's why this conversation isn't about hype or quick profits. It's about awareness. Understanding that the world you see on the surface is not the whole story. That behind calm headlines, pressure can build silently. Most people will only notice silver when it's already too late to ask why. When prices are moving fast, when shelves are empty, when commentators suddenly pretend this was obvious all along, but it never is obvious beforehand. That's the nature of resets. And that's exactly why this channel exists. The silver reset isn't about predicting exact prices or dates. It's about watching the stress points, the contradictions, the things that don't add up until they suddenly do. As we move closer to 2026, the question isn't just how high silver can go. The real question is what kind of world would require silver to be priced that high in the first place? Because markets don't move without reason. And when they move violently, it's usually because reality finally catches up. If this perspective made you think differently about silver, about money, or about where things might be heading, let me know in the comments. I read them, and they shape what we cover next. Share this video with someone who still thinks silver doesn't matter, because the most dangerous changes are the ones nobody talks about until they're unavoidable. This isn't financial advice. This is a signal. And whether silver hits $200 or not, the forces pushing it higher are already in motion. The only question left is who's paying attention before the reset becomes impossible to ignore.